are the sole responsibility of the producer and do not reflect the views of Malden Access Television, the City of Malden, or your cable provider. MATV welcomes your comments. You can phone us at 781-321-6400 or email us at access@matv.org.
We are back in the virtual studios of Around the Rim, and look who we have here, head coach of the Pistons, Danny Bitew, whose Pistons took down the Sixers this past weekend. Danny, say hello to the people out there in the interwebs.
How we doing?
Okay, that's the tease. Right back at you. Welcome you all to another episode of Around the Rim. I am your man, the Dudster, Nestor Dudley, here in the virtual studios of ATR, and once again here with Pistons head coach Danny Bitew, and a little spoiler alert at the tease that the Pistons were victorious against the formerly undefeated Sixers. Coach, welcome aboard to the show.
Thank you, Nestor.
So, Coach, looking down your roster, you have like a very nice roster. I wanna give your boys some props. If I mispronounce any names, please let me know.
Sure.
Nathan Sullivan, Clifford Paulin, Robert Wallace, Joshua Bly, Joseph Hatch, Makai Cook, Brian Jose, Jeremiah Duprevel, Gemma Charles, Jorgensen, Dorson, Devontae Lane, Clubberson, Aurelian. How did I do, Coach?
Jemiah.
Jemiah.
Yes.
Other than that, I was pretty damn good. But Coach, I like your squad. Talk about this 2025 Piston squad.
So the squad is a special squad. I was able to pick up some young talent. Most of the new names that you have mentioned that were not on the roster last year are young. They're freshmen and sophomore. I believe I only drafted one senior, and I did that on purpose, knowing that he's going to be a one and done. But I saw a lot of young talent this year, and I was surprised that I was able to get these young talents such as Jemiah, Kleberson, and Devontae. Those three specifically, as you see, they're rotating into the starting lineup. They have a lot of talent, and I was just surprised to even be able to get them.
Your team has talent, and your team has firepower, and your team has been on one hell of a roll. You dropped the season opener to the defending Neighborhood League champs, but it took them an extra frame to do that, and then you've won three straight. And your team looks really, really good, Coach.
Yep. So, game one, we didn't really have. We struggled to have a full roster for practice. So it's been a project. So that's how you see from the difference between game one to game four. And we're building. And I was surprised I actually got 9 out of 12 players to show up last night. So we'll see how we look this weekend when we have, I believe, the Kings as well as the Bullets for a rematch.
Well, Coach, when you know yourself, because you are a champion in this league, you're 2009 Pistons champions, and one of the most dominant champions that we've ever seen in the Malden Neighborhood Basketball League. But you know for yourself, Coach, that when you start off hot like your team, you're going to mainly get most people, if not all of them, at practices. And it just makes your job and your assistant coach's job easy, where everybody is there on the same play, on the same page, read the same playbook, wanting to be there.
Yep, and that's what we got last night. So we had a chance to end practice yesterday and scrimmage the Bullets. So we got two full court games going on to end the last 10 minutes, and just to get some chemistry going, and that was good for us. And like I said, we'll see what happens this weekend. I actually expect us to impress you guys some more this week.
Yeah, you have a big weekend coming up this week. And you have to excuse me. I was certainly listening to you, but since this is
I'm caught in the web.
yeah, you were caught up in the web, man. I was certainly listening to you, brother, but I had to tee it up because I'm doing a solo, baby. I'm doing it solo, so you are caught up in the virtual web of the MNBL. So what this is, folks, is that I have up until 3 minutes to ask my guests anything. In this case, it is Pistons head coach Danny Bitew. Anything that I want, and it may or may not have to do with the Ball Neighborhood Basketball League, but this certainly has to do with the Ball Neighborhood Basketball League. Coach, I have to ask you, what are the main differences between this year's Pistons squad and last year's Pistons squad? I thought last year's Pistons squad had the potential. I thought you had the firepower. What my observing eyes observed from last year is that the players kind of didn't want to listen to the coaches or the game plan until the last couple of weeks of the season when you were out of madness contention. But I felt we saw a real glimpse of your real team the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season. Not the case this year. What is the difference, Coach? Tell me and tell us.
So last year, we had pretty much the same firepower. As you see, I have returning players: Nate Sullivan, Rob Wallace, Cliff Pollen. Who else do I have returning? Makai Cook, and Joshua Bly. Those five have remained to be pretty much in the starting five, and they are the same firepower that I was pretty much starting last year. So the difference between them last year and this year is me as a coach. I had to dig deep down and understand how I can get through to these guys, because I had to realize where they are in their game and how they understand it, as well as why are they at this point and why are they playing this way. And I come to realize that my team, my players are the result of the pandemic. They are missing crucial years of playing, middle school ball and maybe freshman ball and stuff like that. So there was so then I started to realize, okay, there was some crucial years of development that was disturbed. So I had to, bring it back a little bit and simplify it, because as you see, you can tell I do have the firepower, but I had to bring it down into language where they could understand it a lot more simply, and then start building that way to catch them up.
I have to tell you, Coach, that is such an incredible talent to be able to sit back during the off season, because it's a 9-month off season, and basically saying, okay, what message do I need to get to my players? I know the game. I know how to coach the game. I know the X's and O's. The Pistons, there's a long history of the Pistons knowing the X's and O's. That was never the problem. The issue last season was being able to get through and talk their language. And you have, thus far, you have appeared to have solved that. You certainly improved upon that. And therefore, the results are the results. We are seeing what I'm saying, what I said at the top, the true Pistons team.
Yep. And as you know, last year, most of the games that we lost were by a few points. Most of those games was just little tweaks. So, hopefully we don't get to those points this year.
Well, certainly with the start right now, and it more than anybody else, that in this league where there's only a limited amount of games, if you can, it's better to start fast and maintain the madness seeding than to try to catch up, because that never does anybody any good. So, Coach Danny, you are officially out of the web. So you had a big game this past weekend against the Sixers. The Sixers was a strong team, still is a strong team. I don't want to say was, still is a strong team. Up until you faced them last week, they were undefeated. They were 3-0, and they were pretty much bum rushing teams, but not so much when they faced your Pistons. So what was the game plan going into that game, Coach?
So one thing I want to do is point out Coach Glenn and
Yep.
Coach Steve. They have shown this year, and I know Glenn is new, but Steve has shown year after year that the Bullets are going to be in contention. So I had to also look into how he's coaching and how he is, getting consistency year by year with the personnel that he has. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, knowing that the Sixers were the team to beat at the time, I let my team know. They're not usually in conversation year after year, as you've stated before in other episodes of the Rim, and they got it this year. They got it. They got that team chemistry, something similar to the Bullets, and they came out strong. So I said, "Hey guys, we're on a little bit of a roll. This is our statement game right here."
Not only are your Pistons in the conversation, Danny, with that victory, your Pistons are sitting on top of the league, and we're going to get more into that when we go over the Rollins. You're 3-1, the Bullets are 3-1, the Sixers are 3-1, but beating the Sixers propelled you guys to first place. So you guys, at least for this week, are the hunted.
Right. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
and you are used to being a hunted. Yeah,
That's correct.
You are used to being a hunter because, as I said, your pedigree in this small neighborhood basketball league, being a champion yourself as a player, 20-9. But you hear that, Planet Rock, so it's time to go to the Rollins. So this past week, January 18th at the Fairway School, first game, Pistons versus the Celtics, and Pistons 6 points better than the Celtics, 56-50. Sullivan, high man for the Pistons, 18 points. Azzolino matched with 18 points as the Pistons improved to 2-1. The Celtics dropped to 0-3. Next game, Kings, Bullets. Bullets 10 points better than Kings, 51-41. Son, high man with the Bullets, 12 points. Hampton led all scores with 18 points as the as the Bullets improved to 3-1. The Kings dropped to 2-2. Sunday's game, first game, Pistons, Sixers, the game that we were just talking about. 17 points were the Pistons, 58-41. Wallace, high man for the Pistons, 19 points. Hector led all scores with 20 points as the Pistons improved to 3-1, and the Sixers are not unblemished anymore. They dropped to 1-3. And the second and final game this past weekend, Celtics, Lakers, Celtics 39, Lakers 28. Wharton, high man for the Lakers, 8 points. Telmark led all scorers with 17 points. And that's how it went down this past weekend's play. So now let's go on to our weekly Around the Rim Awards. So let's kick it. Self-kick it nowadays. Player of the week, Samaj Wharton. Coach, oh, this is old. This is okay. No, player of the week. Nope. This isn't. This is not it. Okay, let me go by memory. Player of the week was Nathan Sullivan. Player of the week. Coach of the week, Danny Bitew, because when you take down the undefeated Sixers, you're coach of the week. Team of the week is coming back here to Danny Bitew because, again, Pistons were the dominant team this past weekend, and will it be a Pistons sweep in the around the weekly awards? No, it's not going to be, because Papa Gillis gets the Woo of the Week. Papa Gillis, uh, just dusting off the past, coming back, watching his Bullets play. Papa Gillis, this Woo is for you. Woo! And now let's go to the stats, and let's just hope I'm on my game with the stats. When you do this stuff solo, sometimes it can be challenging, but that's okay. So, yes, we got the stats right. Okay, so Pistons on top of the league right now. Pistons 3-1, Bullets 3-1, Sixers 3-1. The Pistons get the top slot because the Pistons have a greater points differential to all the other teams. So Pistons the top slot, then followed by the Bullets, then followed by the Sixers. Coming up, the Kings playing 500 ball, Celtics getting their first victory, and the Lakers still on the schneid. This weekend coming up, January 21st, first game Bullets versus Celtics, excuse me. Second game Pistons versus Kings, and in that second game, #interesting match up. Sunday's game, Sunday the 26th, first game Pistons versus Bullets, second game Sixers versus Lakers, and in that first game, #rematch so soon. Where to read them? Every week in the Marlin Advocate. The paper is free for the cheap, or you can go to online home of the MNBL.org, ATRlive.com, or Instagrams at MNBL1986. Around the Rim, stream on all devices, live or VOD. Once again, website ATRlive.com. Around the Rim, when you can watch them on the public access channel in Malden, Comcast Channel 9, Verizon 28, live Thursday, replays Friday, replays the following Wednesday. Like and stream Around the Rim, #follow, #stream, #retweet at Nesta Dudley or at The Real Nesta Dudley on IG. My mic sounds nice. Check one. I said my microphone sounds nice when in the zone. Check two. Beyond the Rim is the other joint that your man the Dudster does when he's not doing Around the Rim. Beyond the Rim picks up where Around the Rim leaves off. So Beyond the Rim, you'll find them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you stream your podcast. So, Coach, with these last waning minutes of the show, you have two games this weekend. You have a game Saturday against the Kings and Sunday against the Bullets. You haven't faced this Kings team yet, and this Kings team is not your last year's Kings team. What challenges would the Kings pose to your Pistons this season, Coach?
So we actually did face the Kings. We faced the Kings in the Jamboree.
Okay.
And
Doesn't count.
And we lost to them.
Right.
It's a basketball game to me, so it counts.
Okay.
So we lost to them. So that's another rematch right there as well. But the Kings, they have a pretty deep roster this year. They made some moves. They added Cedric Mathley. They drafted Jacoby Hampton, who is those are the 1-2 punch right there. Point guard, shooting guard, whether they're interchangeable, and they do have decent bigs as well. I forgot their names off the top of my head.
They do have Zayden Pierre, who's a third-year junior, so they have like a nice little three-headed monster.
Right, and Zayden is really good. Yes, he's been there for a while. So they have a good starting five, and they do have some pieces off the bench too. So they're not too far away. They're not too much different from our team. How we're built. So to tell you the honest truth, I am not going to tell you what our game plan is.
Well, I would never ask for the secrets. I just wanted to know what type of challenges that this team would,
But
pose.
but between Cedric and Jacoby, those Energizer bunnies, those guys, can give you 40 minutes of up and down the court. So slowing them down is going to be key. So I'll tell you that. Slowing them down will be very key. Knocking them off their game will be very key. So I won't tell you how we'll do that, but that is the game plan.
I cannot wait to watch how you do that. And now you have your first rematch against the defending Neighborhood League champion Bullets, and this is coming up Sunday. And as I said at the top of the show, the Bullets did beat you guys in the season opener, but it took an extra frame. It took an extra 10 minutes to do it. What type of challenges does this team pose? A team that's surprising to me because I went on record saying I didn't think they had any firepower.
Again, all falls back on Steve. He does it every year since I've joined the league. He's been very impressive. He's always been in the conversation, whether or not you have mentioned it in the season opener shows and stuff. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, the team that we were game one is not the team that we are today. Like I said, we've had more consistent practices. We've had more communication about game plan and what our identity of our team is. So all of that will be, week by week, just growing pains. We'll still be making some mistakes. As you see in the scores of this weekend, I don't think those scores are really telling of how in control we were of every game this weekend. We kind of have our up and downs during the game, so we'll look to tighten up, and we are definitely motivated to get our get back on the Bullets to make sure we give them a loss as well.
Coach, before I let you get on out of here, do you have any final messages that you want to give to your players?
They know I'm coming with that energy, and you know that as well, and most coaches do. So I hope that they embody that and start to grow that because they got it. They can do it.
They certainly can do it. Once again, your team certainly has firepower. Your team is on top of the league right now, and the Pistons tradition is live. It's live with you. It's live with Marcus Bailey. It's live with Officer Chuck Washington. It's just Pistons all over the place. And I know you're not black and teal anymore, but still, this could be a very special season for the Pistons.
Hopefully. Thank you, Nestor.
Until next time, I just want to say buenas noches, hooches, cooches. I came in peace. I leave with love. This is for the red, the black, and the green, and I'll be seeing you at the games. Okay, that was very good.
Awesome.
Very good. We're going to